What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's always a huge thanks for coming back. We really appreciate you. So, as you saw from that intro clip, we have the front end of Bryce's truck pretty much done. All the major brackets, everything we had to fabricate is done in this truck. And just a little recap for those of you that haven't seen this truck yet, or haven't been keeping up with the videos. This is a build that we're working on with OBS Bryce, my buddy. We're gonna be doing a full 4-link setup on this truck with the cradle, obviously, and it's gonna be our new 8 to 12 inch kit for the OBS trucks. And again, we're super excited to be working on this. Like I said, we've got the front end pretty much done. Obviously, we've always had our coil buckets. I'll come back to that in a little bit. We have a front axle truss. We have a new track bar bracket on the frame side and a fabricated track bar. We also have a dual shear pitman arm for this thing. We've got our cradle with our 4-link. And as you can see, we're missing the 4-link for the rear, which is what we're going to be working on today. But again, with the coil buckets, I got to talk about them real quick. This, again, obviously, like we're working on Bryce's truck, this thing's going to be keeping its coils and its shock separately. I've been getting a lot of questions about full air ride and full coilovers. Full air ride, we will eventually have it, but it's probably not going to be anytime soon. Coilover brackets, though, that will likely happen way sooner than the full air ride kit, because we are really interested in making coilover buckets. So that is something that's going to be coming pretty soon. I don't know if it's going to be part of the full release or if it's going to be dropping afterwards. But again, like I said, we are definitely going to be offering this kit with a coilover bucket for the front and a coilover 4-link version for the rear. Now, this particular truck is going to be getting air ride on the rear, which is part of what we're going to be working on this video. We're going to be working on the last couple of items that we need for this build, which is going to be our rear axle truss, our rear cross member / bag mount, and the 4-link setup for the rear. And the first thing we got to do, I actually already just finished putting the final touches on the truss. So what I got to do now is get this axle prepped for the truss and for the 4-link. Now, what that means is that this thing's going to be getting stripped of the leaf spring purchase, because obviously going air ride, we don't need these anymore. We're also getting rid of the shock mounts. We're just going to clean it up and get it ready for that truss. So we're going to remove basically all of the brake lines that you see on here too. Just because they're going to be on the way for now. So we're going to, like I said, take everything off, get the truss figured out, and once it's installed, we'll, reinstall all of these lines. We are so excited to finish this thing. And like I said, brackets wise, we're pretty much done. After that, the only major thing that we're going to have left to finish and figure out is just the overlays and kind of smaller stuff like that. That shouldn't be a big deal. Knock on wood. Let's jump right into this. I'm going to, like I said, go ahead and get that axle all shaved down, and it is a pain, but it's pretty simple. All we got to do is essentially just cut these welds there and there, there and there. Same on that side, and just remove, like I said, all of these brake lines, everything, just so we have a nice clean base to start from. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'll update you guys once we have everything clean, because I'm sure you don't want to see me grind on all this. So yeah. Alrighty guys, so update time. As you can see, we've got the rear truss pretty much ready to be tacked together. Now, I want to talk about this thing real quick. We got this thing pretty much ready to be tacked together, although there is one modification that now that I look at it, I am gonna have to do, or I want to do, which is this top plate. I had designed it solid like that just because I wanted, I guess, a slightly cleaner look. Just because, as you can see, this thing's gonna be not busy, but it's got a lot going on, right? We've got all the holes. It's also getting an overlay, which I think is gonna look amazing. And the problem with this plate is the only way to make it look nice is if we do a solid weld all the way across. And honestly, on something like that, on most things, it's kind of wasteful. So we're actually going to go back and add a few cutouts, kind of like we have on the front truss, just to save a little bit on weld and to make it match the rest of the truss. Now this truss is going to be, again, like we've been saying, an air ride setup. So we have our bag mounts, and then it's also going to be having the 4-link brackets welded onto this thing as well, and to the axle. Now this kit is going to be welded on the axles. We might do a bolt-on kit down the road, but for now, it's going to be welded on. Now on the axles, you can see, we went ahead and stripped it. We took off the spring purchase as well as the shock mounts. That's because we're going to be welding on our shock mounts onto this thing. That way they match. And then obviously, since air ride, we don't need the spring purchase. The last thing we're going to do is just kind of finish cleaning this axle because it is also getting painted. And as you also saw, we removed the bed from the back of the truck. And that's just to make it a lot easier to clean up this frame because pretty much everything that was related to the leaves is getting deleted. So spring purchase, the landing pads for the overloads, the bump stops, all of that is going. And once we have the truss where we like it and we know that we like it, the last thing that we got to test is the cross member with the back mounts. And at that point, we're pretty much done with all the brackets, and it's going to be just getting everything finalized, getting it powdered, and finishing it up, installing on the truck, which I am super excited. This thing is looking amazing, and it's an absolute beast, and it's really making me reconsider what I want to do with my single cab. Just because before we took off the bed, I actually jacked up the back of the truck and put everything at ride height, matching the front. And this thing looks mean, guys. I mean, just look at that. It's an absolute unit of a truck. It's really making me reconsider what I want to do with my single cab. I would love to see it at least for a little while on this setup. Definitely really happy and really excited with the way that it's turning out. I mean, plus we need to do testing on a single cab and an extended cab. That way we have, we know that the cradle will look right and will work with those cab configurations, as well as the short beds and long beds. So we still have quite a bit of testing to do, but our goal is to have this kit on the website in about 2 months. That's what we're aiming for. Now, that being said, we are considering doing a pre-order on this thing. We might do that once it's a little bit more finished, so you guys can actually see what the whole kit looks like. But we are getting a lot of interest in this kit. So for those of you that really want this kit, let me know if you're interested in a pre-order. That way you guys are as far ahead in line. But again, it's going to be a pre-order, so it might take, at least 2 to 3 months before we can have something figured out for you guys and we can deliver it. All of those details, we'll try and have a more concrete answer, if you do a pre-order. But again, that's something that you guys got to let me know if you are interested in doing or not. But yeah, again, super excited with the way this truck is looking. I absolutely love the stands. And I mean, just imagine my single cab, with this setup, maybe a 10-inch spring and some 40-inch tires. Now again, I'm a little more conservative, so nothing about this conservative, obviously, but I would love to see it on a 22 by 14 wide. That would be definitely cool, but I don't know. I will say this, you will see this on my truck just because we need to test it on a single cab, and obviously I have one, so might as well. But yeah, super excited about the way that this is coming out. Now, that being said, we got to go back, finish tacking this together so that we can at least mock it up on the axle. So yeah, let's get to that. Alrighty guys, so what do you think? I think it looks freaking amazing on there. Now, there are a couple things that we gotta still figure out, possibly modify, but for A first quick mock-up, this thing is looking great. Obviously, like I said, we gotta kind of wheel this whole setup under the truck once it's stripped so that we can actually figure out the pinion angle and everything and see where this is gonna go. One thing that I can already tell is that I totally forgot about this brake fitting when I was designing it. We gotta do a little cutout for it right here, which is not that big of a deal to do right now. We can still modify this and clean it up. Jose, our welder, he's really good about kind of doing stuff like that and making it look clean. So if we don't have to kind of waste this whole sheet, we're not going to do that. But it is something that, you know, once we do them for production, we'll make sure that it has clearance for that fitting. Gotta wheel this whole setup under the truck and get it figured out. Now, unfortunately, today for this video, we were out of time. And I actually really need to jump on production because we've got a lot of orders to get out, which again, guys, a huge thank you. We really appreciate all your support. I'm gonna take a slight break from this today, work on production, and then for the next video, plan is to have the back end of the truck completely stripped off, do the cross member with the bag mounts, and essentially have this whole setup mocked up under the truck. So that's gonna be a very, very exciting video. I mean, I'm hoping to be like 2 videos away from this truck being done. Again, really, really excited with the way that everything is looking. So yeah, again, huge thanks for the support. Leave a like, leave any comments that you might have down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you for the next one.